day and welcome to News Express. We are tracking a significant political development out of Abuja, where a closed-door meeting between former presidential candidate Peter Obi and former President Goodluck Jonathan is already sending ripples across Nigeria's political landscape. On the surface, it was described as a consultation, one of many, but in a country where political alignments often begin behind closed doors, this meeting carries weight far beyond its official description. Peter Obi, who contested the last presidential election under the Labour Party, arrived at Jonathan's residence leading a delegation of prominent leaders from the southeast. The optics alone are telling. This was not a courtesy visit. It was a strategic engagement, carefully timed and deliberately framed as part of a broader effort to shape Nigeria's political future ahead of the 2027 general elections. Shortly after the meeting, Obi took to social media to outline what he described as a productive and deeply reflected conversation. According to him, the discussions were frank, thoughtful, and centered on one overreaching goal: repositioning Nigeria. That word, repositioning, is doing a lot of work here. It suggests not just reform, but a fundamental shift in direction, a recalibration of priorities in response to what Obi and many others sees as multinational challenges. And those challenges are not abstract. Obi pointed directly to economic hardship, rising insecurity, and deepening social divisions. These are issues that resonate across regions, cutting through political affiliations and affecting everyday life for millions of Nigerians. By framing the meeting around these concerns, Obi is doing more than reporting a conversation. He is setting the stage for a broader political narrative, one that positions collaboration and consultation as necessary responses to a country in distress. But let us pause here and examine the significance of the man he chose to meet. Goodluck Jonathan, not just a former president, he remains a figure of considerable influence, both within Nigeria and across the African continent. His tenure, his networks, and his reputation as a relatively moderate political actor make him a valuable ally, or at the very least, a critical voice in any discussions about Nigeria's future. So when Obi sits down with Jonathan, it raises important questions. Is this the beginning of a new political alignment? Is Obi seeking endorsement counsel or something more strategic? And perhaps, most importantly, what role could Jonathan play as Nigeria moves closer to another election cycle? Obi's statement offers some clues, but it also leaves room for interpretation. He emphasized the need for leaders across regions to come together, to reflect, consult, and act in the national interest. This is a message that goes beyond a single meeting. It is an appeal for a different kind of politics, one that prioritizes unity over division and collective progress over individual ambition. In Nigeria's political reality, such appeals are often easier made than implemented. The country's political landscape is deeply fragmented, shaped by regional interests, party loyalties, and complex power dynamics. Building a coalition that truly transcends these divisions requires not just rhetoric, but negotiation, compromise, and strategic alignment. And this is where the timing of the meeting becomes particularly significant. With the 2027 elections on the horizon, political actors are already positioning themselves, testing alliances, and exploring potential partnerships. What we are witnessing now may well be the early stages of that process. Obi's emphasis on leadership qualities adds another layer to the narrative. He spoke of competence, character, capacity, and compassion as the defining traits Nigeria needs. It is a clear attempt to frame the conversation around values rather than personalities, but it is also a subtle critique of the current political environment, where leadership is often judged by different metrics. His statement that governance is not about sharing what is left, but about creating what is needed, is particularly striking. It reflects a shift in focus from distribution to production, from managing scarcity to generating growth, and this ties directly into his broader economic vision. Obi has long advocated for a transition from a consumption-driven economic to a production-based one. In his remarks following the meeting, he reiterated this position, calling for the full utilization of Nigeria's human and natural resources. It is a vision that aligns with ongoing debates about economic diversification and sustainability, especially in a country heavily reliant on oil revenues. But as with many policy ideas, the challenge lies in execution. Moving an economic of Nigerian scale and complexity requires structural reforms, investments, and consistent policy implementation. It also requires political will, something that is often tested in the face of competing interests. Looking ahead, Obi framed the 2027 elections as a defining moment, not just another political exercise, but an opportunity to reset the country's trajectory. This is a powerful framing, one that seeks to elevate the stakes and mobilize public sentiment by linking the elections to the aspiration of ordinary Nigerians, the child seeking quality education, the entrepreneur striving for a conducive business environment, the citizen yearning for security. He is grounding his message in lived reality. But this also raises an important question. Can the momentum of consultation translate into concrete political outcomes? Meetings and statements can set the tone, but elections are won through organizations, strategy, and voter engagement. The path from dialogue to victory is neither straightforward nor guaranteed. There is also the matter of perception. In Nigerian politics, alliances are often scrutinized for what they reveal and what they conceal. Obi's engagement with Jonathan will be interpreted in different ways by different audiences. Supporters may see it as a sign of inclusivity and strategic thinking. Critics may question its implication or speculate about underlying motives. And then there is the broader electorate, many of whom are less concerned with political maneuvering and more focused on tangible improvements in their daily lives. For them, the success of any political movement will ultimately be measured not by who meets whom, but by changes on the ground. As we analyze these developments, it is important to recognize that Nigerian politics operates on multiple levels. There is the visible layer of public statements and official engagements. And then there is the less visible layer of negotiation, alignment, and strategic calculations. The meeting between Obi and Jonathan sits at the intersection of these layers, both a public signal and a private conversation. What is clear is that the political landscape is beginning to shift. The quiet conversations of today often become the defining alliance of tomorrow. And while it is too early to draw definitive conclusions, the meeting is a reminder that the road to 2027 is already taking shape. For now, Obi's message is one of unity, consultation, and purposeful leadership. It is a message that seeks to resonate across regions and demographics, appealing to a shared desire for stability, growth, and good governance. Whether it will translate into a broader political movement remains to be seen. As Nigeria moves forward, the interplay between narrative and the reality will continue to define its political journey. Leaders who make their case, alliances who form and evolve, and citizens who watch closely, weighing promises against performance. The meeting in Abuja may have been closed door, but its implications are anything but hidden. It is part of a larger story, one that is still unfolding, one that will shape the choices Nigerians make in the years ahead. And as that story develops, one thing is certain. In Nigeria's dynamic political arena, every conversation matters, every alliance counts, and every signal is worth watching. That's all for now on News Express. If you have something to say, head over to the comment section. We would love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Chidera Esom. Do have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.